Hello, this is Lyle Muller with the Emerging Journalist Corps, and today my guest is Alex Budsey. And Alex is the author of a story from Decorah, Iowa, about the strength of the Lutheran Church in that community. Alex is a student at Luther College, a freshman. You're finished your freshman year, right?
Finishing my sophomore.
Finishing sophomore. So you'll be a
Yes.
junior in 25, 26, or 26, 27, excuse
Yeah.
me. The years are passing by for me. The first thing we're going to do before we talk about your story is talk about your last name. I pronounced it Alex Birdsey. And tell me how that last name really gets pronounced.
It really gets pronounced Burze, but I don't expect anybody to try that. Bertie is completely fine.
All right. And what you were telling was the actual Polish pronunciation. Your parents immigrated here from Poland. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. All right. Well, let's talk about the story you did about the strength of Lutheranism in Decorah and Winneshiek County, up in northeast Iowa. Where did this story idea come from?
Okay, so I was taking a class last semester, so fall of 25. It was called Writing for Media, and our like big project in this class was to create a feature story, basically just try to find something. Most people did something like college related on campus, but I thought I was already a writer for my school newspaper at the time, so I thought take it out into town would be more interesting. So I had an idea because I'm a Catholic. I go to church every week. I thought this town is very Lutheran. My school is called Luther College. What if I made something out of like, is there what's the relationship between the Lutherans and the Catholics? And at first, I did not know what to expect in terms of is it good, is it bad, is it straight. I was really happy with the result because it showed they're actually very friendly with each other. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, that's just fine. What did you learn in this as you were doing your reporting?
I learned that really these theological differences don't matter as much as, and when it comes to like the community aspect, as some people would like to make it out to be. And I found that so where I come from is like my suburb area of Chicago is very heavily Catholic. Like I went to mass Catholic school all my life, so it's insulated. Coming here was a bit of a culture shock to me, even. But in this like small town, people work together more often, and that means that like people from different denominations and different congregations, churches, are working together more often. So it doesn't really matter as much um, whether you revere Mary or whatever else is a difference that you have.
You wrote a story about this for the Luther College paper. How did that go? How did that get? How were you able to pitch that story, I guess, and get it published?
Well, I wrote it first for the class, and then I had the intention once it was turning out, and I was like, I like this product. I wanted to put it in the issue of our second newspaper issue of that semester for the end of the semester. When I pitched it, it was just like, yeah, okay, you can do that. Like, we'll put it out. Just give us what you have, basically.
And then you reached out to us. A lot of times we're reaching out to the students and saying, hey, here's a good story. But you reached out to us. How'd you hear about us? And why did you want the Emerging Journalist Corps to know about your story?
Well, um, so I have a professor. I haven't had her for a class, but she's kind of my unofficial English advisor. Her name is Amy Weldon. Very great teacher, very accomplished in everything that I hear. And she clearly knows what she's talking about. And she kind of keeps her ear to the ground on a lot of these opportunities that pop up. And I guess she was looking out for me because one day I got an email from her saying, I just found this new opportunity from this new organization that's called Iowa Emerging Journalist Course. So I said, well, let me check this out. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Literally a week before, my parents were saying, mainly my dad was saying, oh, you should try to find something where you could write outside of the school context. And I agreed because, like, in this field, in order to get places, you really have to have like a portfolio. And I also just wanted the experience to write it for a broader audience, because so far my reporting has just been limited to the CHIPS Luther College newspaper. So I jumped an opportunity, and once I reached out, when it came to pitching this specific story, I think, to be honest, it was just the best one I had in the vault. It was the most generalized. Most of my other stories are very college specific. So I saw it as something more potential to be able to write for a statewide audience.
Had you worked at a high school newspaper before?
My high school was very small and kind of broke. There was no newspaper, no journalism, anything related to that at all. I picked it up when I came to college and joined CHIPS almost immediately because I liked writing in general. Just I didn't know I liked journalism yet, you know,
Are you interested in journalism as a career?
without a doubt.
Why?
Um, so I came into college undecided, and I was kind of floundering. I was a little down because I genuinely didn't know what I was gonna do, and I feel like I was kind of wasting my time with my classes I was taking because I was just trying to figure out what I was gonna do. But I figured it out in my first semester when I joined CHIPS and I started writing because I knew I was good at English in high school. I liked writing came naturally to me. So I thought, what if I just try to pursue this a little more? So I did end up pursuing it, and I started writing pretty prolifically. At first, I was just a sports writer, but then I started branching out to the other stuff. And it's been great working with them and just starting to build up, a body of work and get that experience. And I like talking to people. I like hearing about chasing a story. I like interviewing. I like learning about new things. And I like traveling. So all those things really just combine. And I realized that journalism is probably the path for me.
What have you learned in the process of doing a story with the Emerging Writers Corps?
Um, a lot of it came down to being able to generalize a story and make it appeal to a broader audience. Because, like I said, I only did stories in the context of my college before. This was the only story I had the draft of it before it's going through edits right now. Was the only one that I'd written in a more community context, like in the context of Decorah town. So that was like what I learned was how to generalize it so someone in another part of the state, specifically Iowa in this case, would want to read it, and also how to be more concise with my words because I do like to write kind of flowery a lot of the time. So being able to cut down on stuff and shift from my, like imagery full like essay style to a more concise to the point reporter style has been helpful.
You also have had to do a little more work on this, some more detail. Did that surprise you?
Yeah.
Uh,
It was a little bit like, I'm really getting like torn a new one on these edits, but it's because like maybe it's not that I was writing was bad. I don't think so. It just wasn't the right feel in a lot of ways, and just some things needed to shift or stuff like that. And I get
well,
it.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We are glad that you did this. Alex, I want to thank you for taking the time to working on this story, to do
Of
the
course.
work on this story. Well done.
Thank you.